We return now to the very tragic story of a woman killed by a sheriff's deputy after she called 911 asking for help. Now, the body cam footage, we showed it to you earlier, shows the encounter between 36-year-old Sonya Massey and Deputy Sean Grayson in Springfield, Illinois. The mother of two had called 911 to report a suspected prowler outside her home earlier this month. Grayson has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. Joining us now is Sonya's father. His name is James Wilburn, along with civil rights attorney Benjamin.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? I didn't even realize that was Ben Crump. I'm not even going to kid you. I didn't even... Oh, my God. Not another Crump sighting. When I see Ben Crump, honestly, it makes me take pause for the thing that we should actually be passionate about. When I see Crump, when I see Ben Crump, honestly, I start to feel a little less invigorated to bring visibility to an issue that may be something that we need to bring visibility to, because it just somehow, some way, it just starts to lose a little bit of credibility. You know what I'm saying? I do think that this is a big issue. I do think this is something that we need to take serious. But when I see Ben Crump, I just get, it's like, ugh, ambulance chaser, another ambulance chaser.
Crump, who is representing the family. Good morning to you both. I want to start with you, Mr. Wilburn, because this video that we saw earlier was heartbreaking to those of us who didn't even know Sonya. I cannot imagine what it is like for you to have known your daughter the way that you did. And I know when these stories happen, it's just another story in the news. But for you, I always say the victim was somebody's everything. So before we get into the details of the case, please tell us what she was like and what you're missing most about her. Who was she?
She was one of my 4 daughters. I don't think that looking at that tape with my old heart from before 2022, I had quadruple heart bypass surgery and I suffer from congestive heart failure. But I don't think my old heart could have taken this.
You know, I'm hearing that you were told conflicting stories. What were you told, the circumstances of this shooting?
Well, I was never told that it was a deputy-involved shooting. We were under the impression that she was killed by the intruder or some other person from the street or something, and they just went in there and found her dead body.
You know what the worst part about this situation is that the family has to forever live with the body cam footage, which they need to get the body cam footage because they have to have closure. But then that body cam footage is something that just continuously opens up the wound, because you'll always have to hear somebody talking about it. You'll always have to be able to go and see that video. When you at your weakest, you can go and listen. There is no amount of money. There is no amount of money. I know that Ben Crump is sitting there. The father, I would assume, is of a certain age to where, if we just gonna be absolutely honest, it's not a whole lot of life. Like, he got more years. He has more years behind him than he has in front of him, especially considering what he's saying as far as some of his health issues that he's had in the past. You can't spend enough money, and I'm not saying that the family shouldn't be compensated. Of course they should be compensated, but it will never ever be enough. It's no amount of money that you can give somebody that truly loves their daughter, that has raised them and seen that camera footage and say, listen, here's enough for your pain and suffering. I don't give a F about that money. I want my daughter back. And so when you see this guy and he got these bags under his eyes and he's gray in his hair, I can't imagine that when he held his daughter when she was born, that you ever even considered the possibility that a police officer, not an intruder, because see, if it's an intruder or if it's a burglar or if it's somebody in a community, it's just as devastating, but it's not as devastating just because crime, oh my God, I can't believe it. You kind of expect for certain things to happen. And he said it. He said, listen, we thought that an intruder came in and killed her. But when you find out it's a cop, it's almost like that's one step away from it being your friend that killed you. Because these are the people that's supposed to be protecting you. And you get to see it on video.
I did not find out that the deputies killed her until my brother asked for Sonya's address, and I gave it to him. And he said, brother, this says deputies involved. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But we were all misled to believe that. And then there was a story that this was self-inflicted, a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think the cover-up started from just right after it happened. And thank God for the body camera footage. It's probably the most horrible and heart-wrenching thing that we've ever seen in our lives. But if it were not for the body cam footage, we would not have known that this occurred.
They could have covered
yes,
it up.
I say thank goodness, too, for that body cam footage, because we in the video, it clearly shows she was not approaching him with steaming hot water, number one, which is what he said at the beginning. When he was asked about the gun, clearly there was no gun. She had said to the officer, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, which seemed to set him off. What do you think she meant? What does...
Because when you speak the name of Jesus to demons, they get upset about that. If you would have said, hey, man, you got the devil in you, it wouldn't have been as upsetting. Look, to people that are evil, if you say, oh, you full of the devil, that is not as piercing to their heart as I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. If you seen what his response was when she said that, he was like, man, I swear to God, I'll shoot you in the face. Some people was trying to refer me to another angle where it was saying that, oh man, she threw a pot of hot water, or she was approaching him with a pot of hot water. Bull crap. Listen, there's nothing that you can tell me. There's no angle that you can sell me. When she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, because he had his hand on his pistol and he was about to draw his pistol, and he said, I swear to God, I'll shoot you in the face. She had two hands that was already, she was more likely to get the hot water on herself than him that was halfway across the room. There's nothing that you're going to ever tell me, it's nothing that you can ever justify this with, that's ever going to help me to understand or make me to believe that it was anything other than an unjustified murder. Not killing, not shooting, not self-defense. It was murder. It was murder. Look, you can go to a gun class today and they will tell you, under no circumstance are you to shoot somebody. That is the very last thing that you ever do. The very last line of defense. If you could run, you can get out of there. You telling me that this dude couldn't back up and go out the door because she had a hot water? He had to shoot her in the face? Stop, bro. Stop. For all of y'all that's trying to justify this, that's bullcrap. It's bullcrap. It's 100% bullcrap. And I know that is just the devil working, and you never, ever going to be able to sell me on the idea that she deserved to lose her life when she the one that called the police based off of an intruder. The very reason that she called the police in the first place is enough justification in order to remove himself from the possibility that she was a threat. Why are they even in her house in the first place? Get out of here, man.
What does that mean? What was going on that you think that she would say those words to him?
I think that she feared for her life. There was some premonition that she had. And it seems like he was just an emissary of Satan. And
that's what I said.
That's what caused him to do what he did. It's just unexplainable.
Yeah.
Attorney.
If they tell us as CPL holders that go and get our gun license to be able to carry a concealed pistol, that under no circumstances, and you can be held liable for killing somebody unjustly, and at the first line of defense is for you to get up out of there and run or whatever, especially when you see somebody as a threat. But you telling me that a trained police officer that has been on the force for years don't adhere to, at the very least, the same standards that CPL holders have, and they got a partner right there? Get out of here, bro. Get the piss out of here with that. That was heartless. That was heartless.
Trump, it's Vlad here. I want to ask you about the reports that Officer Grayson was now working at his 6th police department in just under 4 years. What have you learned about that? And to the point that Mr. Wilburn is making and that Gail was just talking about, what does it say?
No, boogie duty or whatever it is. I do not understand why it's hard to feel bad when cops get hurt, because that's like saying, do you feel bad when black people get shot? No, because all black people are not bad. And this is an individual cop. When I'm speaking to this, and see this, I'm gonna address this. I'm gonna address this in the next segment. When I'm speaking to this, I'm gonna save your super chat. When I'm speaking to this, I'm speaking to him as an individual, not to police officers across the world. There are bad people and then there are good people. There are bad people in uniform and there are good people in uniform. There's good bad people and there's bad black people. There's good white people and there's good black. Like, stop. The uniform does not make you who you are. You can be a good cop or you can be a bad cop. You could be a good banker, you could be a bad banker. You could be a person that's actually want the best for the community when it comes to financial literacy, or you could be a scammer. It's two different people and you have to evaluate each individual on their own merits. That don't mean that all cops need to be deleted. That sounds stupid.
Say to you that the first thing that we hear Officer Grayson say after he has killed Sonya is, she was coming at me with boiling water.
You know, it's just no justification, no matter what he tries to say. We see this video with our own eyes. And Vlad, this is one of the worst videos of a police shooting ever. I mean, he did not have to shoot her. And you see him, even though he's trying.
Man, who is hiring Ben Crump to represent them the way that this man is talking?
Trying to say he wasn't going to have this boiling water get to him. He actually walks around the counter and engages to get a better shot. And that's what the state attorney's investigation found, that he actually engaged her. He could have done so many things to not shoot her in the face. He could have backed up. He could have used taser. I mean, it was the size difference. Vlad and Gail, he's over two times as big as her. She's 5'1", 110 pounds.
That's crazy.
He's like 6'5", 260 pounds. It's just senseless and god-awful.
I agree. I don't necessarily care for Ben Crump, but I agree. This is bullcrap. And I don't care who's saying it, and I don't care how they're trying to justify it. You're never, ever, in this circumstance, and I evaluate each individual situation for on its own merit, you're never going to sit here and justify to me that it was okay for that man to shoot her. That's bullcrap. That is bullcrap. I do not agree with it. I think that this man absolutely 100% need to go to jail. And if they can, they need to get that man the death penalty. Facts. Real talk.